Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Believe in best.
Tonight on Our News, crime is down but sexual offenses skyrocket in 2020. Our News on a mission to Washington, plus mail found scattered around the post office demolition site. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, though overall crime decreased by 16% last year, crime statistics released by Commissioner of Police Paul Roll today reveal the number of sexual offenses reported to police in 2020 increased by 34%. Jasmine Brown has the breakdown in this report.
The police commissioner announced that double-digit decrease in crime here at police headquarters, where he also revealed what led to that drop.
Preliminary figures indicate that overall crime for the year 2020 decreased by 16%.
Overall, Roll said crimes against the person decreased by 21%. There were 896 incidents in 2019 compared to 712 in 2020. As it relates to murders, there were 95 in 2019 compared to 73 homicides in 2020.
This is the least amount of persons killed in a year in the Bahamas in 15 years. We have recorded a constant decline in homicide since we peaked in 2015 when we recorded 145 murders.
The COP added that police investigated 213 sexual offenses incidents last year compared to 159 in 2019. That was up 34% compared to 2019. The cases include rape, unlawful sexual intercourse, and attempted rape. Also up were suicides, which saw a 38% increase with 11 incidents as opposed to 8 in 2019.
We are at a disadvantage, though, because the people are dead. And so they don't tell us quite why they commit suicide. And in some cases, they may leave a note, or family members may say that they were. What I can tell you is we had a few of those that we know were domestic related, where the fellas are weak and they kill themselves because they were having issues with their females. I can leave that right there because to go further in that will require more research.
Crimes against the property decreased by 15%. There were 4,128 reported incidents in 2019 compared to 3,519 in 2020.
Armed robberies decreased by 41% with 313 incidents compared to 531 in 2019. Armed robberies occur mostly between the hours of 4 p.m. and 12 a.m. Armed robberies were more prevalent in the Southeastern Division, which accounted for 18% of the overall total.
Roll said stolen vehicles decreased by 19%, stealing from vehicles decreased by 32%, and house break-ins decreased by 13%. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, police are investigating the death of a woman whose body was found on a track road off Marshall Road this afternoon. The circumstances of her death are unknown at this time. We'll have more information in tomorrow's newscast. And in 2 days, Joe Biden is scheduled to take office as the next president of the United States. His inauguration comes against the backdrop of an attack on the U.S. Capitol and unprecedented military presence in Washington. Our Jerome Sawyer is in Washington this week and reports on some of the reactions to the unrest.
Brought to you by AML Foods.
The skies over Washington buzz with the sounds of helicopters. Military and police vehicles patrol the streets around federal buildings. The closer you get to the famed Capitol building and White House, the tighter the restrictions. 25,000 National Guard troops are expected, a massive response to the security concerns post the January 6th insurrection. Major Scott Drugo of the Virginia National Guard is a part of the massive ground protection force.
Our mission as National Guard soldiers is to help protect lives and property. So we're not organizing anything, we're just here to help out the local police departments do what they do best.
Mostly only pedestrian traffic in this security zone, with greater restrictions the closer you get to the Capitol. On the famous Massachusetts Avenue, Grand Bahama-born L.A. could only describe it as surreal.
It's not necessarily frightening, but it's alarming because you wouldn't think something like this would be it just very surreal. Like it's hard to find the words to describe what we're experiencing and what we're living, all because of bigotry and hate.
Hannah Baker is also from Bahamian roots. As an elected advisory neighborhood commissioner, she's lived in D.C. for a number of years.
A few years back, I decided to get more involved in my neighborhood, and so I ran to be a local community commissioner, and so I did that for about 2 years. I just finished my term this January, and so it's been amazing. And so being able to see the work that goes on the city on the neighborhood level as well as from the government level has just been an incredible experience for me, and bringing my perspective as a Bahamian, as somebody who has a different perspective of what the city is and what it could be, has been truly amazing.
48 hours out from the inauguration, and things in Washington, D.C. are pretty calm for the most part. There is a huge military presence, and there have been a few isolated incidents, but certainly nothing to compare to the events of January 6th. The people who live here tell me they are concerned, but not afraid. But whether that peace holds, like the rest of the world, we are here watching and waiting to see. For now, from the U.S. Capitol, I'm Jerome Sawyer reporting for our news.
Brought to you by AML Foods.
Well, an investigation has been launched into how mail ended up scattered about the demolition site of the old post office building on East Hill Street. Our Kyle Joaquin was there as the battered pieces of mail were picked up.
The post office may be gone, but early Monday morning, a shocking discovery. Mail that never reached their final destination. Our cameras were rolling as a post office employee showed up around 10:20 to collect the scattered mail that was found at the demolition site that once housed the East Hill Street Post Office. And pictures tell the tale with many orange envelopes, Bahamas government mail, even some mail with checks, some immigration documents, and even this piece of mail addressed to a Hubert Ingram. We see you collecting the mail on the floor. We see you collecting the mail on the floor. We snuck our way onto the demolition site where the post office employee was seen picking up mail along the fence. Can you pick up?
Well, after they may have rushed off, nobody could get in there.
I mean, but all the mail wasn't taken out of the building before they demolished it?
Yeah.
They were?
Yeah.
But these were just leftovers that were in there. So what are you doing with them now? You taking them in the process. So why wouldn't they take in prior to? The old post office was demolished almost 2 weeks ago, but what no one expected to see was people's mail scattered about. We got a peek into the bus as the employee went to pick up more mail. So if you can see, just inside the bus there, here's some of the mail that he collected off of the ground. A lot of mail that has on government service. Is it possible that we could see one or two of them? Can we see one or two of them? No? Okay. Okay. I know, but I mean, these are people who didn't get the mail. They probably didn't know they were here.
What happened was that when they fenced it around
Uh-huh.
you weren't able to get in.
Oh, the post office people weren't allowed to get in once they fenced it off?
Right.
Oh, so you just collected them now? Yeah. Wow. So now you have to find these people?
No, we processing them and putting them
in the new box, okay. So what he said just now was that when the fencing went up prior to demolition, post office employees were not able to come back and see what was left in there to probably get some more of the mail. So now he's coming to pick up whatever was left on the side. They were just scattered along the side there. So now he's come to collect them and take them back to the new location of the post office for processing. We reached out to Postmistress General Jennifer Johnson, who said an investigation is underway to determine exactly how this happened. She said she woke up to messages and calls on the situation, but that a drop box was left at the site for the public's convenience.
We are learning information as we speak, so I cannot say that it was caught in the demolition. I cannot see persons that would have had oversight of that destroying the drop box, because that's a very visible item that was out there in front of the street. So.
Johnson didn't want to say much more, but said it appears there is a lack of respect for other people's mail by members of the public.
It was sealed off. That the demolition would have been started, but the box itself was not removed. But the seal was removed by some persons, and subsequently mail was dropped in there. But I am But we are investigating the matter.
For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
In other news, a man is accused of killing his brother, physical education teacher Andrew Valdez, who appeared in the magistrate's court today on several charges, including murder and threats of death. Giorgio Bain has the details.
It was a tearful scene outside the magistrate's court Monday afternoon as the family of physical education teacher Andrew Valdez watched his brother be carried inside court by officers of the Criminal Investigations Department. 41-year-old Rafael Valdez of 5th Street, The Grove, was charged with the December 31st murder. He was not required to enter a plea to this charge. According to police report, Valdez's body was found in a classroom at Stapleton School on New Year's Day in a pool of blood. Valdez faced a second charge of assault with a deadly weapon. On the same day, he is accused of assaulting Jeffrey Morley with a deadly weapon. Valdez was also charged with threats of death against Morley with the intent to cause fear of death. Valdez entered a not-guilty plea to the second and third charges. Bail was denied. He returns to court on March 30, 2021 for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment for the murder charge, and on September 16th for the beginning of trial for the remaining charges. Reporting for Our News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Well, cloudy skies outside the Our News studios tonight. Here's Greg Thompson in the Weather Center.
Thanks, Christina. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your first look at weather. Cool conditions outside our studios under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures are in the low 70s, 73 degrees is our current temperature outside our studios. Light winds out of the north at 6 knots. Feels like temperature around 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Satellite view, lots of moisture across our area courtesy of another front that's pushing into the area. High-level clouds really producing those cloudy conditions across our area, so cooler temperatures expected tonight through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, Save the Bays blasts BPC over an outstanding license fee, plus why more than 100 drivers got ticketed this morning. Stay with us.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
The revelation that Bahamas Petroleum Company failed to fulfill its license obligation to the Bahamas isn't sitting well with Save the Bays chairman Joe Darville, who blasted the company's CEO today. Bethany McDermott reports.
Save the Bays chairman Joe Darville hit out at Bahamas Petroleum Company over reports that BPC failed to fulfill its license fee obligations.
I would say right up front, that it's a dreadful disregard for the sovereignty of our nation. It seems as if they have liberty to come in and do whatever they want, whenever they like, to ask for extensions of their licenses whenever they see fit to do so.
On Friday, Tribune Business reported that BPC had warned against making mountains out of molehills after it was revealed that government had refused to accept its payment of outstanding license fees. According to the article, Attorney General Carl Bethel said the two parties were in a reconciliation process to resolve the dispute over how much the oil explorer owes the public treasury. Potter said the reconciliation was a basic audible business practice that involves a comparatively minor amount of money. Darville, however, reasons that it seems foreigners are allowed to do what they want in the Bahamas. He also slammed Potter, who in a statement Saturday praised the Prime Minister's announcement of his administration's plan to speed up the implementation of a sovereign wealth fund.
That has nothing to do with BPC. The sovereign fund is a fund that should have been established a long time ago.
The Save the Bays chairman added that even if oil is harvested, Bahamians won't feel the benefits anytime soon.
The fact is, even if they were to find oil, and even if they were to extract oil from the belly and the bosom and the womb of Mother Earth, it would be at least 10 to 15 years with respect to the oil situation on the planet right now, and the glut that there would be at least 10 to 15 years before even the investors or the directors were able to accumulate any wealth from oil drilling in our waters.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
And an early morning police operation led to 102 drivers being issued fixed penalty notices for speeding. Jared Higgs was on the scene and has these details.
During the operation, 102 drivers were ticketed for speeding, while 6 of those 102 were also given tickets for not wearing a seatbelt. An early morning operation netting several dozen unsuspecting drivers.
We want to reduce the number of traffic accidents and fatalities.
Officer in charge of the Western Division, Superintendent Chaswell Hanna, says the operation was a joint effort with the Traffic Division.
We have been getting readings all the way up to mid-70s, 74, 75. Okay, I think our highest one was 79. Okay, and that's way too far. Okay, and we also ticketed a number of persons for not having their seatbelts on, which is another safety risk.
Police say the reason for the operation is to get people to slow down. There were 51 truck fatalities in 2020. That was down 3 from 2019 when there were 54. But police are still concerned about those numbers and the speed at which people drive. Let me ask you this. Do you think the Baymans drive too fast?
I think the young ones, because if they're not speeding, they're not moving.
Métis Sayre says she agrees with the police tactics. She wants drivers to be more patient on the road.
They can't wait. They have this thing where you can turn left at the red light. I'm in front. I could see what is coming, but they blow it and want me to go. How I can move when I see the car come in? It's just them impatient.
But not everybody agrees. Some say the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit on the JFK highway is too low. Others say the operation, which yielded nearly $11,000 in fines, would be tough on some who were penalized due to the pandemic.
The government ticketing the people because the Bahamian people, they don't have no money. You understand, in this pandemic, people frustrated. It ain't making no sense, boss. So they should probably be leaning on the people, you know what I mean, and put God first.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Thanks, Jared. There's still more news to come, but first, your RF Market Watch.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, a disturbing trend involving Airbnbs, plus the latest in sports. Stay with us.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
This is our news. Welcome back. Police Commissioner Paul Roll says investigators have noticed a disturbing trend involving what he called scumbags using Airbnbs to sexually assault victims. Roll says the incidents often take place at parties held at short-term rentals, adding that victims are targeted on social media.
We talked about what we had seen emerging and to try to educate young folks about attending these parties at these Airbnbs and, getting drunk, and then you find, some of these scumbags take advantage of them.
There were 158 reports of unlawful sexual intercourse, 50 reports of rape, and 5 reports of attempted rape in 2020. To address the Airbnb concerns, Roll says he has asked Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis to restrict parties at short-term rentals. Tonight in sports, Buddy Hield scores 18 points in a loss. Marcellus Hall has the details.
All right, thanks a lot, and welcome to our Sports on a Monday, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. A lot of busy stuff happening on the weekend. Let's get you unpacked, shall we? Starting with our very own Buddy Hield in action. He and the Sacramento Kings looking to pick up a win. Him and Buddy Hield and the Sacramento Kings in action on Sunday. Kings hosting the New Orleans Pelicans and their star player Zion Williamson. Kings, they would have no answer for the second-year man out of Duke. He torched them for 31 points and 6 rebounds. That offset a 43-point outing by the Kings' De'Aaron Fox. Pelicans get the win, 128-123. As for Buddy, he would log 35 minutes on the floor, finish with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, while making 5 of 11 from three-point range. Kings' next game will be on Wednesday when they take on the Los Angeles Clippers. Meanwhile, the NFL playoffs continued over the weekend. Saturday saw the Green Bay Packers advance. They took down the LA Rams 32-18. Aaron Rodgers throwing for 296 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the other game on the day, the Buffalo Bills, they moved on to the AFC Championship game. They beat the Baltimore Ravens 17-3. Taron Johnson's 101-yard interception return for a touchdown with 41 seconds left in the third quarter. That sealed the deal for the Bills. Sunday, that saw the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs hold on for dear life after quarterback Patrick Mahomes left the game with a concussion. Chiefs withstanding a late rally. They beat the Cleveland Browns 22-17. And the final game of the night, third time was the charm for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they finally found a way to beat the New Orleans Saints. They lost to them twice during the regular season. Buccaneers getting the win when it mattered the most as they get the victory 30-20 your final score. Buccaneers taking advantage of 3 of the 4 Saints turnovers to come one game now away from the Super Bowl. And that's your check on sports here on this Monday. Of course, we'll have all the details from tonight's action coming your way first thing tomorrow. Meanwhile, I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. Rev launches a new campaign designed to bring families together. Stay with us.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight.
COVID-19 remains a serious threat.
Coronavirus COVID-19 has disrupted our economy, tourism industry, educational system, and put our healthcare facilities and professionals on high alert. Are you prepared? Do you have all the facts? Stay tuned to this network for the very latest news and information on this global pandemic.
Welcome back to our news. Another cool day in the capital, but what's in store for the week ahead? Here's Greg back in the weather studio.
Thanks again, Christina. Our second look at weather, we take a look at our satellite view around the area. Cloudy conditions associated with frontal boundary now pushing into the capital and the northwest Bahamas. Some high-level clouds moving across the area. We will continue to see a series of frontal boundaries moving through the area. Another one expected by Thursday and another one expected by the weekend. So look for those cloudy conditions and cooler temperatures all the way through the rest of the week. Your boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be out of the north to northeast, 15 to 20 knots. We have a caution flag posted for your boaters. Seas running 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. Tide is presently high. Will be low at 12:03 in the morning. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now to extended forecast through Saturday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everyone. Christina?
Thanks, Greg. Well, Cable Bahamas announcing the launch of its NBA Trio promotion. Head of Residential Sales and Loyalty, Rory Major, says 2020 was a horrible year, and the company wants to give back to its customers. How? With the It's Back Baby Trio promotion, helping to bring people together after a year apart.
It's just added value. People are looking for ways to cut back and budget more effectively and so forth. So the fact that we have not changed our price, we're just adding more to it. And to me, with the NBA, it's just like you feel like you could share on your own team and 40 games, and it's the same great price. So I think that we, as a company, we feel the customer's pain by not adjusting the price, by working with persons, calling them, and just showing that we have a heart in this time of need as a company.
This week, customers will be treated to a free trial of the NBA League Pass, part of the Trio package. But marketing manager Melissa Colebrook says there's more.
We're also going to be giving away smart TVs. So we learned very quickly, people love smart TVs. They love those big screens. We gave away one courtesy of a partnership with HBO Christmas Eve. And so we thought, you know what? Come on, you cannot watch the NBA, you cannot watch NBA on a small screen, right? Let's give it away, but let's also have some fun doing it as well. So let's have some dribble contests and some three-point shootouts, let's see what you got, right? So we're doing that.
Thanks for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.